In the comments, Sean says, any news on the Rangers managers coaching stuff? And the story that came out today, guys, that Danny Rohl, apparently it's a done deal. He's off to RB Salzburg. Fraser, I get that Rangers fans might... Well, actually, Rangers fans, let me know how you feel about it. But I would assume a lot of Rangers fans would be happier with Derek McInnes than Danny Rohl. But what does this say about Rangers, the fact that Danny Rohl is quite happy to swap Rangers for Salzburg? What I'm getting at is Rangers still a massive club. One of the biggest clubs in Britain. You'd really swap Rangers for Salzburg?
It's an interesting one. You know, it was always going to be interesting to see what a Danny Rohl second season was going to look like at Rangers. We'll never find out now, but there was no doubt he'd piled pressure on himself for the way they finished the season, and maybe that's what's convinced him time for a fresh start. You know, he maybe just felt things were starting to turn against him. A lot of the fan base had. We heard it, we saw it, we read it. I think this is one of these where everyone could walk out of it a winner. Rangers, Danny Rohl, Derek McInnes. Hearts fans won't like me for saying that, and there's a huge part of me would like to have seen again a Derek McInnes second season at Hearts to see if he could have built on that foundation that he built, which was so good last season. Listen, the first domino that needs to fall here is obviously Salzburg announcing Rohl. I think as soon as that happens, maybe it'll happen in tandem. Rangers will announce McInnes because I believe the two deals are done, more or less. And then I just think Derek McInnes is a perfect fit for Rangers. I don't want to just repeat what everyone said before, but it's all cliche stuff about knowing the club, knowing the league. It's true. It's a cliche, but it's true. But more than that, it's about being able to handle those things. And Derek McInnes has proved that he can. Folk point to the fact he's only won one trophy. Well, it's been at slightly lesser clubs, you know. It's been at two of the big five, but nothing near the financial weight, the size of the Old Firm. This is his biggest job by a country mile, and he will fancy his chances are kind of wrestling that grip back for Celtic, this dominance back for Celtic. And I tell you what, see if he can bring the energy into that stadium that he brought into Tynecastle last season. I was fortunate to cover Hearts more than any other club last season. And the way he got that stadium electrified it, and a lot of it was down to him, what he was saying in the press before games, his actions during games, he absolutely turned it into a real force of nature, that Tynecastle. And if he can do that at Ibrox, well, I think anything's possible, but he has got a massive job because too big a squad there. Lacking leaders, as we've said before. They've brought one in Shankland. They will bring another one in Derek McInnes, but they need more than that. So, look, if they get the job, it looks like the job is done. He'll have plenty of time to kind of put his stamp in the club in the next 2 months or whatever it is of the transfer window. And it's very interesting. Interesting times for Rangers.
Guys, we've been around this long enough. Sorry to break in, Daniel, but listen, we've all said a million times to be in charge of Celtic or Rangers, you have to be a manager. Danny Rohl was yet another coach. An outstanding coach, I'm quite sure. In time, he will prove to be probably a fine football coach. But there's more to that than managing Rangers and Celtic. You need to be a politician. You need to be smart. You need to be covering all bases. Look at the way he shrunk. Look at the way the James Tavernier thing unfolded at the end of the season. Could you imagine a real strong manager and the captain sending out messages on Instagram about how, or whatever it was, whatever social media it was, about how he didn't pick me and he promised me this and blah, blah, blah. Danny Rohl just shrunk. That type of thing to me just seemed as though it just swallowed him up. All the stuff that was going on. Picking me bones at Martin O'Neill. I thought they should have went for it in that European game. And I wonder who his keeper was. He was in the door about 2 minutes. He learned pretty fast that was not the smart thing to do, as he constantly get turned over after that. Rangers need a manager. They've had a succession of coaches. Michael Beale, coach. No a manager when things start getting serious. Coaches. Derek McInnes is a manager. He will manage the club, the full club. The full playing staff. I mean, that's what Rangers have been crying out for. They've finally got a manager, a right man to do it.
Proved it, Swanee, last year with that Hearts squad. The Hearts squad was far too big last season, but he still managed to keep a core of a good 20, 22. That's a big group of guys to try and keep happy. And it's been mentioned before, if you have to pluck a Frankie Kent in, Saba Jota didn't play many minutes, but when they came in, you could just tell they're all behind the manager, the club, the process. Yeah, there was a few. You know, they had something like 33 first-team players or something, Hearts, last season. So there were a few that never got near it. But Derek McInnes managed that squad the way that a proper manager, the way that Walter Smith, I know folk turn their nose up at these comparisons, but you can't help it. He knows the Scottish game. He's got a firm hand, a fair hand. I think he'll do very well at Rangers. And
the other thing is, Daniel, just in terms of him kind of moving away from it and taking the first chance to get away. Leslie's got a wife and a young family at home.
Yeah.
And that didn't come with him. Now, you can say why not, because if you're throwing yourself into the job, then you should be. He's obviously decided for whatever, kids' education, whatever. I don't know the background to it. But I'm led to believe it's, a couple of hours drive from Salzburg in Austria for where he's based. Maybe even less. That can be a factor as well, you know. Get a chance to go home and spend time with his children. So you can't blame a guy for that if that opportunity arises. So that makes something to do with it as well. I come back to Fraser's point. Everyone's a winner.
Apart from us.
Then again, we might go on to Hearts. Hearts may have other designs about the way they want to go with a coach. They may want somebody to take all the Jamestown players on board and deal with them all and play them all and that type of thing. So, you know, they might see it as another direction for them to go as well. So,
time will tell.